Hey, Dan Olds here on behalf of www.studentclustercomp.com, the one place you can get all of your student cluster competition news and reviews. And today we're going to be talking about the upcoming competition at ISC14. And real quickly, for those of you that might not know what we're talking about, a student cluster competition is when university teams get together, build their own supercomputer, and then benchmark them against each other live in this case at the ISC14 show. A very special guest today is the main driver behind this competition and a very big supporter of student cluster competitions worldwide, Gilad Shaner, who is the chairman of the HPC Advisory Council. Say hi, Gilad.
Hello, Dan, and everyone else.
Good talking to you. You've gone back years in supporting these competitions, even before you helped to start one at ISC. What is it that got you so interested in these?
Well, I think that those competitions which enable people to go and design their own systems and bring innovations into hardware design, as well as building expertise in the software side and be able to explore how to run applications and optimizations and things of that sort. That enables more people to be exposed to HPC and definitely to the young ones in universities. And as more activities around HPC, that's going to help us to bring more HPC technology out into the market to be able to utilize it better and to build the next generation of high-performance computing professionals. So investing in those competitions, I think it's critical for us in order to continue and building and creating a better and safer world at the end of the day.
Oh, no, I agree, particularly with HBC being used in virtually every industry, every business, government. It fuels an awful lot of stuff. But you went
Right.
farther than just...
Every product and every
Sure.
product and research and new medicines, and it's basically helping to make the world a better place, right? So the more usage of it, it's better for us.
And not to mention that all of this stuff that we're hearing about big data, that is really not it's really indistinguishable from HPC computation.
Right, and a lot of big data systems and so forth are utilizing high-performance computing in order to achieve or to enable to do better data analysis and to utilize the data in a better way. Right, so then there's
Exactly.
multiple cases. I think one of the public known cases is that PayPal is using HPC in order to do fraud detection in real time.
Oh, really?
So there is more and more usage of HPC around the world in places even beyond HPC.
Now,
And I think the more that we invest in universities, that's going to help to create build a new generation or future generations of people that can take the technology to more and more places.
absolutely. Now, you've gone farther than just supporting the competition. You actually started one at ISC. What got you into doing that?
So we did support the competition that was and still part of the supercomputing conference that happens every year in November in the U.S. But there were a few elements that we felt that we would like to add, and that was one thing. The second thing is that we wanted to increase the activities around that and not just having that once a year. And therefore we decided to do it to create another competition that happens every year in June and is part of the International Supercomputing Conference that happens in Germany. So that enables first more students to be involved and more activities that
Yep.
students can be involved with, not just once a year. And to enable more universities to participate in such activities. That's why we felt that putting another one should be or it's a good thing.
Oh, I think it is. It's a great thing.
Right, and the second thing is that we wanted to bring some new elements into the competition. So we want to enable innovations not just getting people to understand how to run applications, but we wanted to bring innovations in designing systems. We want to enable people to really enjoy the competition itself. So it's not just going and competing 24/7, but well, you see it 24/3, but also enjoying the place.
Sure.
Be able to have some free time to get engaged with the industry, with companies, with people who's doing research. So to get them more engaged with more companies in more areas, and we feel that having another competition in Germany gonna answer those two elements.
And yours has grown quite a bit. I think you're up. Let's see. You started with 6 teams 2 years ago. Then it went to 8. And how many are coming in this year?
So this year we're gonna host 11 teams.
Wow.
And I believe that moving forward for the next years, we will try to keep that number that roughly at between 11 and 13 teams.
Mm.
I thought that we would like to have more and more teams. We do want to give the right attention for each of the teams.
Yes.
And to give them all the elements and be able to bring them to create engagement with the right industry folks. So if it's going to be too many teams, I think we're going to lose the personal touch.
Yeah.
So we did grow to the right amount, and I think moving forward we'll stay between the 11 and 13 teams.
I think that's a good idea. I was just at the ASC competition with 16 teams in China, and it was really hard for me at least to get around and meet and get to know all of the teams and cover them. It was just, it's too many. It's a lot. But they had great interest in it, just as you guys have had too. And we have a new team from South Africa coming back to defend their crown from last year, and that was the biggest upset in student cluster competition history, was South Africa coming out of nowhere to win.
Yeah, I agree. So, last year it was the first time that there was a group from South Africa that compete in such a competition, and I think they really did good job, and they had a great preparation. And yes, they won the overall competition, which was a really nice surprise.
It was.
Yeah, at the end of the day, from us, it's kind of a little bit less important who wins. From our perspective, everyone wins by being there.
Absolutely.
But they did able to achieve the highest score on overall competition task, and it was a really good surprise, a nice surprise.
And you and I were both in South Africa last December to observe and help out with their regional competition, which was a lot of fun, and that was really great to see these students that hadn't had any experience coming from zero all the way up to being able to run their own HPC cluster.
Yeah, and I think it's a great initiative by the South African Supercomputing Center that hosts a pre-competition. Get the student even early engaged with understanding HPC, learning the technology and applications and so forth, and then looking and finding the bright guys and sending them to the competition IC. So I think it's a really good initiative in South Africa. The same is happening in China, right? There is a regional competition in China where they pick the best two teams and sending them to ISC. So
well, that's
the
how it
competition
was.
at ISC,
Yeah.
I think it's right. The competition at ISC, I think it's becoming the major competition.
Absolutely.
And since we really limit the amount of participants, then other areas are doing pre-competition, trying to send the best guys to be able to compete.
And actually the Chinese competition, or the competition in China last month, that was more than the regional competition had been. They had teams from around the world, and they're building their competition into, like you said, they will use it to select the teams to go to ISC from China, but they're also bringing in teams from the rest of the world. So these things are really expanding.
Right, and I think it's really positive to see that.
And one of the things... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and some of there is multiple reasons that I think there is more and more university that wants to compete and that wants to participate in exploring or educating the students around high-performance computing technology. So we will see more and more competitions around the world. I know that some of the teams that went to China for that competition also wanted to take, one of the first two places in order to be able to be sponsored to go to the competition in Germany.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So there's multiple things, and I think it's a great thing. I do hope there's going to be more and more regional competitions and overall competitions around the world.
And that regional competition thing, that was something I wanted to bring up for sure in this call because you and I had a talk over drinks in South Africa. And if I remember correctly, I got the commitment from you that if a region held a competition and had a decent number of teams, let's say 6, 7, 8 teams competing, that you would guarantee the winner of that regional competition a slot at ISC.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we talked about, and that's
Can I hold you to
definitely
that?
something that's committed to. Yeah, and
I
I'm still holding my commitment.
Excellent, because I've actually heard that of a few regional competitions that are sort of in their infancy or just starting up, including perhaps one with the Big Ten football conference in the U.S. Maybe organized by Purdue or one of those teams that's been the competition quite a few times, and that would be great to see.
So for Purdue, I think it's a great university with long experience and participating in multiple of competitions around the world. I think they are really committed to continuing doing that and having a regional competition in Purdue. I think it's a great thing.
If I can talk them into it and help them do it, I will let you know, and we'll get these regional things up off the ground. Let's shift gears a little bit and talk some more about the specifics that you're going to be having at ISC. And applications have changed a little bit. You still have HPCC, the benchmark suite, with a separate LINPACK run, but 3 new scientific applications: Quantum Espresso, OpenFOAM, and Gadget. Anything in particular behind those? Selecting those?
Well, yes. So first, the HPC challenge itself, or the getting the impact number, which is kind of the hero number that is being used for the top 500. That's something that we'd love to see. So that's something that we'll continue to have, and we had it in last year's, and we're gonna have
Sure.
it this year. On the application side, the motivation is to pick different applications from year to year.
Mm-hmm.
So to have students be able to explore different areas, different applications, different cases, different solutions, and therefore this is why we change applications from year to year.
Mm-hmm.
We do have, same as last year, couple of secret applications,
Mm-hmm. Good.
which the students will not know before actually needed to run them and compete on them. And the reason that we're doing secret application is to make sure that the student not just learning specific applications throughout the year and then going and just repeating different benchmarks, but to actually drive them to understand what they do and
Yes.
how to take things that they never dealt before and be able to go and execute them. So that's why there are applications and cases that they don't know and will just know the day of the competition itself.
And that's what the real world is
Um,
like.
this is what the real world is like. That's definitely. One thing that we'll do new this year is that there will be also a secret task.
Oh, really? A secret task,
Yeah,
huh?
a secret task as well. That's something that will not reveal anything around that until that specific day in the competition.
I would
But we are
love
going to
it.
do a secret task that was never done before.
I would really enjoy it. I don't know if this has been all set in stone, but if you could have that secret task for those kids to be doing some of the video rendering and stuff for me, that would really help out. or
Yeah, well,
writing
that's going
some
to
of
be
the.
much beyond application. So the secret task will also involve dealing with the hardware setting or the platform setting.
Oh, I like that.
So
Okay.
it's even take them, beyond just, okay, we build, we optimize, now we're going to run specific applications. They're going to be different tasks that will drive them to deal with the platform itself
Ah,
and
test.
potentially doing changes in the platform during the competition.
So test their abilities
Beyond that, I
there.
don't want to
No, no,
reveal
no. Don't say anything
any more
else.
beyond
No,
that,
no,
but
no. That's
that's
great.
gonna right. So they will need to show expertise not only in the software side, but definitely on the hardware side as well.
You know what I'd like to see down the road in applications, and I think this is coming, but I would like to see some more or some apps that are sort of big data related that take us into a little bit of a different direction and more of a direction that's going to be relevant down the road, as opposed to running sort of the same slate of HPC and scientific apps. Is this something that you see maybe coming up?
Yeah, the motivation is to pick applications or workloads that resemble real life usage,
Mm-hmm.
and definitely areas that are evolved, and there are new applications that are created in multiple segments.
Good.
Then yes, it's
And
definitely something that we would like to have, and everyone is more than welcome to submit ideas and suggestions to the HPC Advisory Council for consideration for the next year competition.
great. Now I'd love to see one of the sponsors submit a real life application of theirs. See how well the students do optimizing it.
Definitely, and I think this year the main so for each team is being sponsored by group one or a group of commercial companies that helps them to gain access to hardware and to travel to Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Beside of that, there is an overall sponsorship by Airbus,
Yes.
which greatly appreciate, and the sponsorship from Airbus help us to build the right elements for the students, be able to make sure that they're going to have good time throughout the competition. So not just going and coming and working, but actually enjoying themselves throughout the competition.
Airbus has been great in doing this.
I completely agree. They sponsor. This is the third year that they continue to sponsor the competition. So they definitely see the benefit of having the competition. That definitely help them to see the benefits of creating the next generation. They getting involved by interviewing the teams throughout the competition and things of that sort. Next year we do expect to have more sponsors to sponsor the competition, and definitely each of the sponsors not just providing the funding for helping with the competitions, but they're actively helping to decide on the application
Oh,
side. They
see
are interviewing the students,
that's
and they
great.
are helping them to get into more areas. Yes,
See that's great. Getting the sponsors in and involved at that level, the application at the judging level is great. Not just for the students to let them to give them an idea of what it's like to have, people talk to you and judge you other than your professors and your tests and classwork, but to actually let them get exposed to real world judgment that you're going to have on the job, but also to give the sponsors. I think it's a great opportunity for sponsors to be able to interview the students with an eye towards which students are going to be a good fit for their organization.
right. That's completely correct. And definitely one good thing that we're seeing is that a lot of the students that are being part of the competitions do find jobs within vendors or find position within research institute very fast.
Yes.
So that's definitely helped them to gain the right knowledge, but not only that, but also to get the right connections and
Yeah,
talk with more people.
to move this from, it's not just a major anymore, it's a career. And that's
Exactly.
great to see. Well, let's talk a little bit about the competition itself. Now, the way you've arranged this, and you sort of alluded to this before, is this isn't all night 3-day marathon. These are sprints that take place during the day. They're running, typically they're working on a single application at a time, right?
So each day they do get the day tasks in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So throughout the day they can execute, and they're getting more than just application per day.
Okay.
So they're getting the information for the applications for the day. They get that information in the morning, and then the competition ends in the evening where they need to submit their results. And the reason that we're giving the information only in the morning is to make sure that once they submit their results, there is nothing they can do
Mm,
besides of going out,
sure.
enjoying themselves, enjoying Germany, enjoying the conference or the conference activities. Each student receives a full pass to the conference, so they can go and see the
Go to the
lectures or the
sessions.
sessions.
Excellent.
They can enjoy any activity within the conference, so they can go and learn. And then the post activities every day, or the outside activities, they can also participate in that,
And
as
if,
well as they have the free evening. It's Germany, beer.
yeah,
They can go and enjoy themselves till until the next morning.
absolutely. It's a great competition from that standpoint. So the competition's going to kick off then Monday at 3 p.m. They'll kick off with running HPC and LINPACK, and they have to submit those at that evening. I think at 8:30
Uh,
or so.
Correct. The competition. So first, they have 2.5 days to set up their booth, to set up their systems, make sure everything is
And,
running,
and
do
by the
the
way,
pre-runs themselves.
that might sound like a lot of time. That's not a lot of time. There are teams that will use every second of that because, like in real life, things happen. Equipment isn't delivered
Correct.
sometimes. Things don't run exactly as they did back when you were home. That time will be used.
Definitely,
so,
definitely, every second of it.
so they're setting up the
And then
first two
and then
days. Go ahead.
right, the first they have 2.5 days. So that the Saturday from June 21st, Saturday till Monday, June 23rd, 3 p.m. Germany time. They have time to set up their system, do pre-runs, make sure everything is configured correctly. And then 3 p.m. the competition is gonna be kicked off. And then they have till that evening around 8 something p.m. On
8:30, I
Monday
think. Yeah.
to submit their results for HPC challenge.
Excellent. Then next day, they start up again around 10 a.m. I think you're probably working into that schedule, figuring that they might have found where the beer is in the city.
Correct.
So you've that a little bit of, there's a little bit of hangover time in there.
Exactly. So the goal is that they can go out and enjoy themselves and have fun, and make sure that they're ready in the morning. Competition starts at 10 a.m. When the show floor is open.
Hmm.
One of the things that we are making sure every year is that they are really exposed on the show floor to
Yes.
all of the conference attendees. So it's not that they're placed in some hidden place, but they are in a major place on the show floor. They start the competition when the show floor is open, so everyone can see them. They are exposed to every attendee at the conference, which we believe it's very important.
And by the way,
So they're going to start.
that's one of the great things about your competition, though, is that the ISC itself is constantly sending people back to see the competition. They've made it a very big part of their entire conference.
Right, right, and that was one of the key things that we made sure when we started competition. The goal is to, make that one of the major activities in that conference, and therefore they are in a very visible place. They are part of, or the opening ceremony. It's something that everyone's gonna see
Mm-hmm.
and hear on the show floor itself. And then the award ceremony that happens the last day. It's part of the conference session, and it's part of a session that every attendee pretty much in the conference
Sure.
goes to.
Big turnout every year that you've had that award ceremony. So teams are going to be judged by how well they do on the applications and the benchmarks, but there's also interviews, right?
Right. And those interviews are in place in order to have the judges understand how well the students know what they did,
Mm-hmm.
and how well they understand the technology, how well they understand the applications and things of that sort. So the majority of the points are according to their HPC challenge and application results. But some of the points, I think it's around 10% or maybe a little bit more, are based on those interviews.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the judges comes and provide their opinion on who understand better the technology itself, who prepared better throughout the year. And we think that it's also important, and this is part of the score as well.
And that's something that to the students that are listening to this, prepare for those interviews because that is not a massive amount of the score, but it is significant and it could be enough to make the difference in how your team finishes. So it's something to really be aware of um, that it's a significant part of the competition. It's also a way to talk to and make some valuable contacts as well. And so,
Right.
major awards, you're going to be giving out an award for the overall champion and second and third place, plus highest Lin Pack, and then the fan favorite award, right? Same thing this year?
So for, right. So first, everyone's going to get the recognition of being part of the competition, which we want. From our perspective, every university team by getting to Germany and participate already won.
Sure.
So that's why everyone's going to get a recognition. Now there are going to be multiple awards this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we did add couple of more awards. They're going to be award for the highest impact
Mm-hmm.
number. They're going to be a fan favorite award as well. And then we will have not just first place or the first place overall winner, but we also get a first place, second place, and third place.
Excellent.
So there is two more awards. Last year, the competition was very tight,
Oh, yeah.
and we did feel that it was so close between two teams that I wish I had a second overall award to give to the second team last year. So this year we're doing first, second, and third to be able to provide awards to more
Sure.
universities.
And like you said, though, that just getting there is not trivial. I mean, they've definitely put in a lot of work and done a lot just to complete the competition. So there aren't any losers here.
Right. Everyone wins. At the end of the day, everyone wins here, and we do make sure to give that message to the teams. Even if you didn't take first place or second place or third place, by coming to ISC or by doing the preparation throughout the year, you gain a lot of information. You get a lot of knowledge. You got in touch with commercial companies, research centers. You gain a lot of capabilities that's going to help you to go and find a great position in the future
Yes.
and to drive what you do. So by doing that from our side, you won. And then,
Absolutely.
getting some prizes, that's maybe, the top of things, but on the cherry on top, but it's not the main reason for going to Germany.
No, no, not at all. And I think that the students, at least from what I can tell, they all understand that. And they're so happy and grateful for the chance to make the trip and to get everything that you were just talking about out of it. So it's great from that
Right,
standpoint.
right,
So what do you
right.
see? What do you see in the future for this cluster competition in Leipzig and in general? Further.
So, first, we definitely want to continue.
Hmm.
We we did want to keep that for ISC itself, but I probably can do it now and announcing that also we'll have a competition in 2015.
Excellent.
So that's already set. The competition is going to move, and I think that that's not a secret anymore.
No,
But
it's not.
this year it's in Leipzig. Next year it's going to be in Frankfurt. And in Frankfurt we're going to have between 11 and 13 teams. We'll decide according to the submissions that we'll see. So definitely, I know I'm looking forward for the competition to get to know the teams, the new teams that are coming. We are trying to drive teams from new places.
Yes.
So this year, for example, we're going to have a team from Brazil. I think that's the first time that Brazil is going to participate in a competition. For example, and there is other places as well. I think South Korea going to have a team.
South Korea. Both of those did a warm-up at ASC in China.
Right, right,
So that's great. It's great to bring them to
right,
Germany, to the big time.
right. And also new teams from other places. I think, MIT is going to participate in the competition, which is a good thing that, there is more places. There are going to be some returning teams from last year, such as, the team from University of Colorado, the team from Edinburgh,
Sure.
and others. So there is some returning, there is
And
some new teams.
a couple of
We do want,
the home teams from Germany
right,
too. A new team from Germany, Hamburg.
right, a new team from Germany. So we do encourage more universities around the world to go to go and participate and try to participate and submit. So I do really looking forward for the competition this year, and then we're going to announce the competition in 2015. It's going to happen in Frankfurt. Submission for 2015 we're going to be open probably in July timeframe, and we're going to close at the end of September. And we're going to keep around 11 to 30. We might grow with around two teams more than this year, but that's kind of the number that we want to keep.
That's great. And I would like to encourage anyone out there with a commercial company, research organization, whatever, to get involved with this competition and become a sponsor of the overall competition. It pays a lot of dividends.
I agree. I think that the companies that participate or helped with the competition really saw a great benefit there. And it's really worth their effort around that. So as you said, I definitely encourage more companies, more centers around the world to see what we're doing here, and then to take part. And I think, once they take part of it, they're going to see a great benefit in doing that.
Absolutely. Well, Gilad, this has been great, and I'm going to throw up on the screen where people can get more information about the competition and follow it as it plays out. I'll be there interviewing and doing videos and stories from building the systems all the way to tearing them down. And thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity, Danny, to come and talk about the competition and to give people, my view of things, and hopefully that's going to get to more and more people, and we'll see more involvement of more companies, more centers around the world in future competitions.
Absolutely. And we will see you in Germany.